What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today's video, taking you out on the lake for a day of fishing. It is a balmy 19 degrees when I launch, so should be an interesting day. Gonna have to try and figure them out. They've dropped the water quite a bit, so gonna be a puzzle today. Got to put those pieces together. Should be a good one. Let's go. So this is actually my third ramp that I had to launch at, tried to launch at this morning. So got a late start, spent a little bit of time driving around to multiple ramps because the water is dropped so low. Some of these ramps aren't even in play, can't even launch at them. Didn't need to rip the axle out of my trailer. So ramp number 3, third time's a charm, but it is cold. I'd like to say unseasonably cold, but it's just cold. I don't know if it's unseasonably cold yet. Seems like Tennessee weather is cold, then it's warm, then it's cold. I don't know. It's got a mind of its own. So 19 degrees, got the beanie, got the bibs, got the down jacket on. Hopefully it warms up later in the day and these fish get active, but gonna run around, try and put these pieces together. Like I said, low water, cold weather. My thought is it's gonna be a grind, but we'll see. Got the A-rig, the mini rig, got the mag draft, so swim bait, chatterbait, square bells, lipless, blade baits, and then drop shot and shaky head, of course, if we need to go finesse. But let's go make some casts and see if we can catch a bass. So we finished up with our first spot. Water temp is 49, and it's not muddy, but it's definitely stained. So gonna go try and find hopefully some warm water, if not some cleaner water. Kind of fished through this first spot where I launched. Not seeing a lot of activity on the 2D or the forward facing, but it's one of those days we're gonna find them hopefully schooled up. You know, these are the days that when you find one, you can usually catch multiple fish. So fingers crossed we'll run across the school. But we're gonna go jump some spots, do some idling, see what we can see, and hopefully find a school of fish. All right, scored a new fishing rod, Zebco 202. Yes. Let's see if we got something on the line. Oh, just a branch. At least we're cleaning up the lake today. Big old bluegill eating the blade bait. Got one on the blade. Ooh, the water's cold. Found 46 and 48. So I switched up the blade from the Demiki Vault to the Dyna Response. Just seems to work a little better in that colder water with that little slower fall. No bite on that whatsoever, just kind of loaded up. Thanks, dude. All right, guys, little midday update. As you can tell, it's been a little bit of a grinder. Got 2 bites, 1 largemouth, 1 big bluegill. Hasn't been the best or easiest of bites. The fish are just seemingly shut down. But good news, got Matt jumped on the boat. He was actually fishing a different part of this lake down on the river, and they cut his flows. So he actually caught 2 really nice smallmouth. I'll believe it when I see it, but he says he's got two nice smallmouth, and figured we'd end the day fishing together and go see if we can fill out a limit, or maybe even catch a big one. I don't know. It's been kind of a grinder.
Well, hopefully we can turn it around. My day started out strong. I went river fishing, had good flow, and immediately got into 2 really nice smallmouth. Some giant drum too, but 2 smallmouth that were just beautiful. And then they cut flow. So out here, the rivers are usually below dams. And where I was today was below a dam, and they just cut that flow, and my river turned into just a pond. And when that happens, it's over. No flow, no current, no bite. So I just put it on the trailer, started heading home, called Tim to see what was going on with him. He's out here on the water, so I came over and jumped in. We'll try and wrap it up strong. Either catch a big one or catch a bunch of fish or something. Either way, we're gonna have some fun. It's a good one. Stay on, stay on, stay on. Nice. That's how you start right there. That is how we start. That is a 3.5 swimmer on our new underspin head right there, our Dirty Jigs underspin. Awesome. That was really subtle. I'm sitting on a current break, so I just worked my way down this whole bank, fishing the little current pockets behind rocks, and I got to a little bend and there's a current seam there. I threw a crankbait in there, spinnerbait in there, plain swim bait in there, nothing. I switched that underspin, downsized presentation, and just slow rolled it through there, and that fish just loaded up on it. Awesome way to start. Nice. Beautiful fish. It was turning pretty rough for me. Look at the belly on that fish. Beautiful. Since we got out here, the water has actually dropped about a foot, maybe even 14, 16 inches, which I've got to assume means that upriver they've either shut off a dam or closed floodgates. So a huge change in the amount of water running. And that has definitely locked the fish down. I was processing, hey, maybe I just call this day come back another time, and then all of a sudden, doink, another really beautiful smallmouth. So that's encouraging. I think we'll keep going. I mean, I was really like 10 minutes away from calling it. We got a beautiful smallie this morning, couple of drum. It was freezing cold too. And then when I finally realized what was happening, that water level had dropped, I came back to a spot I had fished previously and it looked completely different. And that's when I realized what had happened. But that fish is very encouraging because it was still sitting right where it should be. It had just backed out. It was deeper. That one ate 4-inch swammer, and that is the Matt Allen swimbait head. That's a 3/8 ounce, just to get a good size hook in that bait. And I'm actually throwing that on my Megabass Dark Sleeper, a rod I love throwing for smallmouth. Straight 12-pound fluoro, just slow rolling that bait.
Yellow. Orange.
Hey, little buddy. You had it in the mouth. It's a start anyway.
I wormed some good stuff today too. I thought for sure I'd get fish. Just some floated brush up on flats. All of a sudden, then bit the whole freaking day. And he grew up here and had one try to freaking digest the chatterbait. He's like, how is that possible? The one that ate had it like his butt. Dude, I fished. I told you I was swimming a little bit. That NB black, I really like. Got it.
Hey, buddy. Welcome.
Interrupted by myself.
Man, it's in the jawbone. There we go. All right, got him. That one ate that ATV. I love that thing.
I talked about that over in my after intro.
Crazy how far down it's come.
Maybe here.
Yeah.
Oh, fish came off. Nice. What the heck?
That's like a decent one.
Oh, what the heck is going on?
Fish just pulled him out of a snag.
It's fast fish. Smallie maybe? No, just a...
It's a feisty one. Nice.
Come here.
That'll work.
Dude, this dude. Come here.
Nice fish.
Thanks, man. Matt's the good luck charm today. So we were just talking. The reason that this is so tough is it's pre-spawn. These fish are coming up shallow, and right as they start moving their way up to start the spawning process, the lake level got crashed. It's down like 7 feet. So all these big, vast backwaters, flat spawning bays, a lot of them are really, really shallow. So these fish have had to really pull back. And then you combine that with the super cold weather we've had. I think today when I launched it was 19 degrees. I don't know what it was.
21 when I launched.
21. Really, really cold nights. Everything was frozen. All the rod lockers were frozen. So you combine the crashing water level and the really unseasonable cold weather, it just has these fish shut down. So I actually switched over to that Dyna response. Talked a little bit about it earlier on that other fish catch. Normally I throw that Demiki Vault. That is my go-to blade. I throw this one as well, but this is more my finessey, when the bite is tough, slower fall blade bait. That one was a total random fish. I was literally hung up out here, and all of a sudden my blade just took off 20 feet to the left, and just that fish was fired up. But starting to catch some fish.
We're gonna turn this thing around.
That's a fishing line to go with my fishing pole I caught earlier. Good fish.
Yep, that's a good one.
He ate it good too.
He absolutely swallowed it. Good gracious.
Oh, he smoked that. Nicely done. Absolutely annihilated that on the pause. That ATV again. These fish are dirt shallow. We're less than 2 foot. Super cold fish too. So I was just telling Matt earlier in this video, I think I told you guys the water temps was like 48, high 40s, low 50s. We found some water back here is 55?
Yeah.
55. So a lot of times late afternoon, that shallow water gets warmer than the rest of the water. It heats up quicker. Those fish will push really, really shallow. So we're fishing less than 2 foot, throwing square bills and lipless chatterbaits.
Got it.
Nice.
Gotcha. Think he wanted that? He's got that bait T-boned. Thank you, my friend. Jekyll TN70. He smoked it. Just absolutely knocked 3 feet of slack into the line. You get bit? This is why you keep going, even on the bad days. You know, on a day where I got chased off the river by no current, Tim's struggling, it'd be easy for both of us to just go home. But you keep going because you can run into these schools of fish. You can run into aggressive fish, and you just never know. As long as you keep going, keep moving, keep hopping spots, when you're gonna run into a spot where they're just biting one after another after another.
I kept looking to see if there's a troll motor, but it wasn't a troll motor. Yeah. That fish? Nah, it just glued to it.
Fish, oh! He took me right out of that snag. Oh! I was just like Tim earlier. I had the TN70 hung up,
My turn.
and a fish just grabbed it and took off.
Oh, 2 for 1.
Yeah, boy, a TN no less. That's a score.
Got a TN with a TN.
I looked down at a stump in the water and said, that's a bait. Sent my lipless down there and came up with another Jackal TN70. That's awesome. I'm up one for the day. On the days where these fish are just firing, spring is so easy. It makes so much sense. You know, we did a video recently. I took you guys out and we ran secondary points. We ran it in reverse. We found schools of fish and ended with a great big one. I mean, perfect textbook spring bass fishing. Today is a different story, and I wanted to highlight the difference. If you can look up here, hopefully you guys can see all that exposed flat up there. There was water all the way back to the tree line out there a week and a half ago. So in the spring, we talk about fish making these big pushes back into the shallows. And generally, once they make a push, they don't back up. They'll go up there, and if the weather gets funky, they just lock down. They just stay there. But it's rare that they'll back up. This is a different situation. These fish have moved up on these huge flats, but literally those flats are now out of water. It's not like they even had the option to stay up there. It's dirt now. So it's a different scenario when the fish are actually physically forced back, and that can really throw them into a funk. What I find is that the fish will back off only as far as they have to. You know, on these flats where there's no deep water access, they'll just back out until they can stop. On a place where it rolls out and it dives off, they'll typically go right to the first deep water access, and they sit right there on that edge. So if you're faced with similar situations, maybe your lake has drawn down, or maybe you had a big storm water push and then it's shut down, you've got cruddy weather now, your fish aren't biting, you want to back up to that first place where it breaks, maybe one secondary point back. If your water level is still stable, however, you want to stay there and just pick it apart. And that's why you still see us talk about throwing a Senko or throwing a shaky head or throwing a jig in the spring, because when the conditions aren't right and the fish lock in place, they're still there, and you just have to slow fish for them instead of power fishing.
Could have been that much lower with rocks.
Got him. Golly, he hit that hard.
Did he come off?
Yeah. He had it down head first. Got him. That one smashed that ATV. It came off as he was coming into the boat, but he had it head first down his throat. He smashed it.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Turned out to be a great video. To be honest, the first part kind of stunk, but once we kind of got things figured out, we started catching them. So that's the moral of today's story, is just keep grinding. Eventually you're gonna find those fish. You know, Matt could have quit anytime today, I could have quit anytime today.
Yep.
But here it is, evening time, and we had a great time out on the water catching some aggressive fish. It really is crazy how shallow these fish are, and how aggressive they are. Like I said earlier today, it was hard to get a bite. It was a grinder, but came across that active school of fish, and they wanted to take the rod out of your hand, just smashing that square bill and lipless. I mean, even taking baits off of snags. That's how aggressive they were. The one I caught over there head-butted. It had the treble hooks right in his forehead. It didn't even eat the bait. But like I said, moral of the story, guys, grind it out. Continue, run through that process. If you're not catching them, keep going through, and eventually you're going to come across that point or that backwater that's going to have all of those active fish, and it's going to make all of the rest of the day worthwhile. You know, like I said, we could have quit easily.
Yeah, I was driving home.
Yeah, he was driving home, and I was just taking in how beautiful of a day it is. It was cold. Don't get me wrong. It was cold, but just a beautiful day out on the water, and turned into a great day of fishing. So just like every video, I'll link the baits and stuff down below in the video description. But really, the Rockstar was that ATV square bill, the TN70, the Dino Response blade bait. That really caught the majority of the fish. Got anything to add?
No, it was fun. I'm glad I didn't go home. Glad we went fishing.
Yeah, it's always fun when we can get together, you know, with our schedules and stuff these days, and families and kids and baseball and all sorts of stuff. It's hard for us to get together, but when we do, it's always a blast. So thanks for coming out, and if you guys like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys on the next video.